In the realm of human history, few expansions have reshaped the server as dramatically as the Mongol conquests. Spanning from 1206 to 1368, this balance patch introduced a faction that would ascend the leaderboards, redefine the meta, and unlock vast new territories across the Eurasian server. This narrative delves into the ascent of a modest guild from the steppes that launched a series of server-wide events, claiming new lands and challenging the era's dominant factions. From the emergence of their legendary guild leader, Genghis Khan, to the unbelievable PvP encounters that redrew the geopolitical map, the patch notes of the Mongol expansion are rich with strategy, conflict, and innovation. The early 13th century server was a fragmented landscape, a battleground for factions striving for supremacy. Unbeknownst to many, a new player was about to spawn, poised to disrupt the leaderboards and introduce a groundbreaking new meta. Equipped with cutting-edge siege tactics and a strategic approach to diplomacy, the Mongol players embarked on a legendary PvP campaign. Their journey would not only secure them a top position on the historical leaderboards, but also redefine the rules of engagement and leave a lasting impact that would never be forgotten. The saga of the Mongol conquest is more than a story of empire building. It's a testament to how a single faction's rise can alter the course of history, influencing the future balance patches for generations to come. These conquests unveil a pivotal chapter in the human narrative, exploring the strategic, cultural, and technological innovations that emerged from this game-defining era, reshaping the gameplay mechanics and player strategies across the entire server. Before the launch of the Mongol Conquest expansion pack, the Eurasian server was a patchwork of diverse biomes, each hosting its own factions and guilds. These ranged from the established empires of the Khwarezmians in the Middle East to the decentralized city-states of the Rus in the north, and the sophisticated dynasties ruling over China. The server's meta was characterized by a delicate balance of power. Trade routes, like the Silk Road, acted as vital lifelines, connecting distant regions and facilitating not just the exchange of goods, but also of ideas and technologies. But this interconnectedness also made these routes contested PvP zones, where factions fought for control to boost their economies. In this pre-expansion landscape, the Mongol faction was just one of the many nomadic tribes of the steppes, known for their mobility and resilience, but not yet recognized as a major player on the global stage. The steppes themselves were a challenging biome, fostering a lifestyle of constant movement and mastery of mounted combat. The stage was set for a transformative era. The existing factions, each with their unique abilities and strategies, were unaware of the approaching shift in the server's dynamics. The Mongols, under the leadership of a visionary player soon to be known as Genghis Khan, were about to initiate a series of events that would not only challenge the status quo, but redefine the concept of empire building. As the Mongols prepared to break out of the regional server and enter the larger game world, the existing powers remained focused on their local quests and skirmishes, underestimating the impact of this brand new player. The Mongol faction was about to receive their brand new buffs in the soon-to-be-added balance patch of 1206, introducing new gameplay mechanics and a brand new player that the Eurasian server had never seen before.
I need a username, and I have a great one.
In the early 13th century, a significant patch was applied to the Eurasian server, marking the rise of a player who would redefine the gameplay. His name was Temujin, but better known to history by his username as Genghis Khan. Temujin's journey from a player with humble beginnings to the founder of the largest contiguous land empire in history is a tale of resilience, strategic alliances, and innovative warfare tactics. His ability to unite the Mongolian tribes under a single banner effectively formed a powerful guild. Genghis Khan's skill tree was diverse, focusing on mobility for rapid deployment of forces, diplomacy to forge alliances or dismantle opposition without combat, and intelligence gathering to outmaneuver his rivals. His siege tactics, leveraging advanced engineering and psychological warfare, allowed for the swift capture of fortified cities. The Mongol army, under Genghis Khan's command, operated as a highly coordinated raid party, capable of striking with precision and adapting to the enemy's tactics in real time. Their approach to warfare introduced new gameplay mechanics to the server, such as rapid mobility for swift map traversal to demoralize opponents before a battle. These innovations not only disrupted traditional siege tactics, but also leveraged espionage and intelligence gathering to outmaneuver adversaries, setting new standards for PvP engagements. The early game conquests were just the beginning for the Mongol Empire, testing and refining their strategies against a variety of opponents. Genghis Khan's leadership transformed the Mongol faction from a regional player into a dominant force on the Eurasian server, and his vision of a global empire was not just about territorial acquisition, it was about establishing a new world order, with the Mongol Empire at its front and center. As the Mongols' top player, Genghis Khan initiated a series of expansion quests. New territories were unlocked and seamlessly integrated into their expanding empire. These campaigns were prime examples of adjusting gameplay strategies to fit different environments, from dry arid deserts to dense forest biomes, showcasing the Mongols' exceptional flexibility and tactical prowess. The Mongol player's journey through these diverse biomes involved navigating distinct levels in a complex open world, with each biome presenting unique challenges, quests, and PvP encounters. Whether it was securing scarce water sources in the desert levels or maintaining mobility in the forest terrains, the Mongols quickly adapt and optimize their strategy to conquer each new environment. As they progressed, the Mongol players specced into their combat tech tree, unlocking advanced siege warfare skills that further enhanced their capabilities on the battlefield. Facing off against well-entrenched enemy factions, the Mongols deployed siege engines and cavalry tactics that acted as their unique ability to breach defenses and decimate their larger enemies. Their approach was a blend of real-time strategy and tactical RPG elements, leveraging intelligence and psychological warfare to secure victory. These quests were not simply about territorial expansion, but also about accessing new resources, technologies, and trade routes. The Mongol Empire's rapid growth was powered by their innovative military tactics, which in turn unlocked new abilities and upgrades, enhancing their global influence and operational efficiency. After some time, the Mongol conquest successfully unlocked a new global server event, known as the Pax Mongolica, which brought an era of peace that facilitated safe passage for players across the empire, and boosted the endgame economy, which enabled the free flow of ideas, technologies, and cultures. It was a period of unprecedented connectivity, creating a vast, player-driven marketplace. In essence, the Mongol expansion transformed the world map, integrating diverse regions into a unified economic and cultural network. During the mid-game of the Mongol Empire, the players had many daily and weekly quests, requiring them to min-max and manage a lot of things. And managing a vast territory required more than just military might. Of course, the Mongols excelled in the art of diplomacy, and skillfully navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries to consolidate their power and further expand their influence. The Mongol faction, under Genghis Khan's leadership, implemented a sophisticated diplomacy system, engaging in negotiations, forming alliances, and even granting autonomy to certain guilds in exchange for loyalty. This approach allowed them to secure their borders, access critical resources, and integrate diverse cultures into their empire without constant micromanagement, giving them the opportunity to dive into the endgame. Their diplomatic skill tree was as developed as their military one, featuring perks like vassal integration for smoother incorporation of conquered peoples, and trade negotiation to boost their own economy, while skills like cultural assimilation allowed for peaceful integration of diverse groups, enhancing the empire's stability and reducing the likelihood of rebellion. This network of alliances and vassal states acted as a complex and intertwined guild system, with the Mongol Empire at the center, coordinating a vast coalition of factions. And through strategic marriages and the establishment of trade agreements, they crafted a robust infrastructure that supported their expansive empire and facilitated the movement of goods, troops, and information. Their diplomatic achievements unlocked new levels of economic and cultural prosperity within their empire. The Silk Road, under Mongol protection, became a superhighway of commerce, connecting the East and West in an unprecedented global network. This time of peace and stability allowed for the flourishing of science, arts, and technology, and it truly was the golden age during this balance patch. As the Mongol Empire expanded its territory, it encountered various factions and high-stakes PvP encounters. These conflicts, far beyond simple skirmishes, were pivotal events that highlighted the Mongols' sophistication, inventive strategies, and their capacity to adjust and prevail in real-time PvP engagements. One notable instance was the Battle of Kalka River, where the Mongols faced the guild alliance of the Rus princes and Kipchak allies. Utilizing their signature hit-and-run tactics and superior mobility, the Mongol players executed a strategic retreat, luring the enemies into a trap before launching a devastating counterattack by effectively using the terrain and their enemies' overconfidence against them. The Siege of Baghdad, a key stronghold and cultural center, demonstrated the Mongols' prowess in siege warfare, employing a combination of psychological attacks and advanced engineering to breach the city's defenses, showcasing their ability to capture heavily fortified positions. Each and every victory served not only to expand the Mongol Empire's territory, but also to level up their military capabilities, integrating new units, tactics, and technologies from conquered players. This adaptive approach allowed them to continuously refine their combat strategies, maintaining their edge over diverse and very powerful adversaries. Their PvP campaign was a masterclass in military strategy, combining direct combat, espionage, and the strategic use of logistics to supply and mobilize their player forces across vast distances. And their success in these encounters contributed significantly to their reputation as an unstoppable force, instilling fear and respect in both current and potential enemies. Throughout all these major battles and sieges, the Mongols not only secured vast territories, but also established themselves as top-tier players in the world's PvP leaderboard rankings, setting new standards for warfare in the records of history. As the Mongol Empire's expansion quest concluded, they left behind a legacy system that would influence the server's meta for centuries to come. Their endgame was not just about micromanaging their vast territories that they had conquered, but the profound changes that they instigated in trade, culture, and governance across the Eurasian server. The Pax Mongolica, a period of unprecedented peace and security across the Empire's trade networks, functioned as a global buff, enhancing economic growth and cultural exchanges. This era allowed for the Silk Road to reach its peak efficiency, acting as a superhighway that connected diverse cultures and facilitated the spread of innovations such as paper money, gunpowder, and the compass. The Mongols' governance model, which included religious tolerance and a merit-based administration, introduced new gameplay mechanics to the regions under their control. This approach promoted stability and loyalty among conquered players, integrating a diverse player base into a cohesive empire. The empire's capital, Karakorum, and later cities like Baghdad and Beijing became quest hubs of intellectual and cultural exchanges, where players gathered to trade, share knowledge, and embark on new adventures. And so, the endgame of the Mongol expansion left a very complex legacy, reshaping borders, cultures, and economies in ways that continue to influence the global server to this very day. Their model of empire building, characterized by mobility and a global perspective, set new benchmarks for future factions and players. And in the records of history, the Mongol Empire remains as a top-tier faction, renowned for its military prowess and its role in creating an interconnected world. Like legendary players who have left their mark on the game, the Mongols' legacy continues to be studied, admired, and learned from by players seeking to understand the mechanics of their empire and the dynamics of global history. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.